folks, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the novella A Court of Frost and Starlight, and we're also going to be reading the synopsis to Sarah J. Maas's new book, which is coming out in January, A Court of Silver Flames, so stay tuned. Okay, right off the bat, I want to talk about this cover and title. I love this cover. I think it's my favorite cover of hers, and I love the title as well. I think it's beautiful and sparkly, and I love it. Something that I did think was a little weird about this book is that the parts in Rhysand and Feyre's sections are in first person, whereas the parts in Cassian, Nesta, and Mor's section are in third person, but just focalized on those characters, so I thought that was kind of a weird choice, personally. Let's talk about the things I loved first. When I found out that Rhysand's mother is the one who made all of Feyre's dresses, I could not believe it. Like, that is the sweetest touch. I loved it so much. I absolutely loved the celebration of the solstice. I loved seeing all the traditions. I loved that Elaine got Az a gift. That was so sweet. I also really liked that Feyre and Rhysand are gonna build a manor with rooms for everyone they love and just start their family. That was just so sweet to read about. I loved the snowball fight between the boys. I need more content like that. I loved it. The cake, the birthday cake that Elaine made for Feyre that was decorated the way that Feyre had decorated their drawers growing up, that was just the sweetest touch. I loved it so much. It was just so heartfelt. I know Elaine gets some flack online, but I think that was just so sweet of her. And lastly, I really liked how this book ended on such a hopeful and loving note. I thought that was a nice note to end on. This feels like this might be one of those reads that I read every Christmas time. I know that the next book is most likely going to focus on Cassian and Nesta, but I'd really like to learn more about Az. I feel like he's very mysterious, but I love him. He's a great guy, but I would really like to know more about him. So hopefully there's a book from his point of view coming soon. Sarah J. Maas, I hope you're listening. Alright, now let's talk about things that are set up in this book that are presumably going to be addressed in the next book. Number 1, the Dissenting Allerians. What's their deal? Are they going to rise up? Is there going to be a rebellion? What's up with that? Number 2, the love triangle with Elaine. There's Lucien, who's kind of her exact opposite, so opposites attract, plus they have the mating bond. But then there's Az, and they're kind of similar and in a weird way, and I actually think they might be a good match as well, so I'm not sure. Number 3, obviously we're going to see more about Nesta and Cassian's relationship. Number 4, I presume we're going to be reading a lot about Feyre and Rhysand trying to start a family. Number 5, I think we're probably going to learn more about Amren starting to adjust to life as a more normal high fae. Number 6, I think we are going to be reading a lot more about what these exiles, aka the Cursed Queen, Lucien, and Jurian, what they're up to, what they want to do, what they're going to do in the mortal realm, all that stuff. I hope Mor is finally going to be happy. I'm very curious what that darkness on her estate was. I also think we're probably going to learn what the darkness that Cassian's referring to in the Illyrian Mountains is. I hope we get more scenes about Feyre teaching her art class to the children of the Night Court. I think we're probably also going to be reading about how the courts are trying to expand onto the human territory now that the wall is down, and we're going to be dealing with the fallout and repercussions of that. And lastly, I think we're probably going to hear more about Tamlin's crumbling health, and hopefully he gets a redemption arc. I mean, we'll see, but I think regardless, we're going to be hearing about how the Spring Court is crumbling and failing. I have the worst book hangover now. I'm tempted every single day to just reread all the books. Alright, now we're going to talk about the synopsis for Sarah J. Maas's next book in this series, A Court of Silver Flames. The synopsis just came out a couple days ago, so I thought we could break it down together. I'm reading from my computer. First paragraph says, Nesta Archeron has always been prickly proud, swift to anger, and slow to forgive. And ever since being forced into the cauldron and becoming high fae against her will, she struggled to find a place for herself within the strange, deadly world she inhabits. Worse, she can't seem to move past the horrors of the war with Hybern and all that she lost in it. Okay, so right off the bat, that tells me that while Nesta seems angrier and kind of aloof in A Court of Frost and Starlight, she is dealing with things. There's a reason she's acting the way she's acting. Next paragraph. The one person who ignites her temper more than any other is Cassian. Honey, we done been new. The battle-scarred warrior whose position in Rhysand and Feyre's Night Court keeps him constantly in Nesta's orbit. But her temper isn't the only thing Cassian ignites. The fire between them is undeniable and only burns hotter as they are forced into close quarters with each other. Okay, my favorite part about that thing is them being forced into close quarters. I'm here for that. I'm ready for that. That sounds amazing. That also makes me think maybe Nesta's gonna get more of a role, an established role inside of the Night Court if they do have to hang out together a lot. Next paragraph. Meanwhile, the treacherous human queens who returned to the continent during the last war have forged a dangerous new alliance, threatening the fragile peace that has settled over the realms, and the key to halting them might very well rely on Cassian and Nesta facing their haunting pasts. Okay, so I think the new alliance is between the evil queens and the Dissenting Allerians. This is kind of interesting because their kingdoms are pretty far apart if you look at the map, but that's what makes the most sense to me, and that's also what would bridge Nesta and Cassian, and they would have a vested interest in this particular budding war. That's what I think that's referring to. Finally, the last paragraph. Against the sweeping backdrop of a world seared by war and plagued with uncertainty, Nesta and Cassian battle monsters from within and without as they search for acceptance and healing in each other's arms. Overall thoughts, I think this book's going to be amazing. I think it's going to incorporate a lot of the things that were introduced in the novella. I'm excited to see the character development, character growth, the relationship bloom between Cassian and Nesta, and of course I'm very excited to see just Rysand in the background throughout all of this. I cannot wait until January 26th, 2021. I think it'll be here before we know it, but I'm very excited. Any other theories about what's going to be in the book? Drop it in the comments. I literally cannot believe that I had not heard of these books until Tik-Tok. Quick little story. In 2015, I went down to California for school. I was in the LA area. And fall of 2015, Stephanie Meyer released her Life and Death 10-year gender-bent version of Twilight. She had a book signing at the Grove. No one wanted to go with me, and I didn't have a car, so I didn't get to go, and it was devastating. But guess what? Apparently Sarah J. Maas also had a book signing at the Grove that very same year, and I could have gone, except I did not read the books yet. I had not read them yet. So that is very upsetting to me. She better go on another book tour because I need her autograph, and the missed opportunities literally haunt me. Anyways, that's my rant for the day. Thank you. As always, thanks for watching. I love you guys. Tell a friend about this video. Yeah?